Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about, as well as show off some bits about space station assaults, larger scale battles, and how they work, and some plans for their future implementations, and what we've currently got at the moment and how that's going. Me and Zinnia were recently invited to participate in an event to assault a space station with the organisation Synchronizers. I'll give you a very quick rundown of the mechanics in 3.11 at the moment. So space stations basically have some big size 10 turrets, quite a few size 6 turrets, and then loads of size 4 turrets protecting them. And they respawn every 5 minutes. They're destructible, and take them out. Those size 10 turrets are really pretty dangerous. Security forces also turn up when criminals are around those areas, and the amount of security forces and the types of ships that turn up are based on the combined wanted level of all the criminals in that area. So this station assault was to sort of test some of those mechanics in a bit more detail, see the responses, see how difficult they are in the latest 3.11.0b live patch. So what happened? Well, Synchronizers targeted Everest Harbour, the space station above Hurston. They split their forces into two groups. Criminals spawned at Grimhex, and they were going to come from there and group up by the station, but not get too close, as they didn't want NPC security forces attacking them early. Everyone else spawned at Hurston and the station, and they gathered around 40 kilometers away from the station. They were also treating an 890 jump as their sort of like flagship that they wanted to protect, but they had a group that went in first, and these sort of like took out and torpedoed the size 10 turrets, and then the fleet moved in. Most of the ships stayed reasonably well grouped. Occasionally someone would break off to engage a ship or turret. With the large turrets dealt with, when they moved in, they were able to just sort of like quite piecemeal take out a turret or a few of them at a time as a group. Security forces spawned in waves every so often, but it wasn't really a challenge. Even when a few NPCs and a hamhead or two spawned in at a time, they were taken out very quickly. There was an overwhelming amount of firepower. And that was the issue there. The Synchronizers fleet that was assaulting the station was over a critical mass where they could out-DPS anything that spawned without taking much, if any, damage themselves. Even as they were starting to accrue more and more of a criminal rating, there didn't seem to be a good enough response from the security forces to keep up, to match them, and to sort of like come in a big wave to deal with them. Anything really at the moment, I would say, beyond like maybe 15 to 20 players at a time is just kind of too many for security forces and a station to currently deal with if the players are organised and have a range of ships. Obviously, you'll probably still have problems if you're all in Auroras or something. There were some very cool explosions and some small fights breaking out, but every time a hammerhead or two spawned, it would get focused down very quickly and very hard. Even the turrets spawning every 5 minutes, they just got taken out again. A little bit more tweaking and more powerful AI ships, in my opinion, are necessary here. So they need to be able to scale these security responses much better with larger groups. That is what the heat and security system is supposed to accomplish, but also there might be some server restrictions here. Having huge amounts of NPCs spawning in an area isn't really intended at this stage. About 2 hours in and there was a server crash of 30k, but that was really the end of the event anyway. They'd sort of stomped all over this station and held it down pretty well. We had a play around Port Olisar after that, which was a little bit more interesting in my opinion. The reason it's quite interesting is because it's very, very small, but has quite a large amount of, well, relatively, turrets and defences. So you're fighting in a much more compact area, and a lot more of this sort of like firepower can be brought to bear on you, I would say. But again, if you're taking it piecemeal anyway, it's interesting because you can sort of wipe out the defences pretty quick. And the whole event and fight looked and felt very cool for sure, but it just wasn't much of a challenge for an org. However, I think there is a lot of future potential with this gameplay. There needs to be reasons to actually attack a station. This could be specifically for a mission, getting paid to destroy turrets, prevent anyone landing, taking out security forces, or maybe even being able to raid a station, blow up its cargo deck or bits of its cargo deck and take the cargo that comes off its spindles. We know they're adding more to stations and even relaxing the FPS green zones at some point, so you'll be able to run around on the ground and pew 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 fire FPS weapons as well, and there'll be NPCs there to fight you. And being able to attack on the ground, and maybe having some King of the Hill or capture and hold type gameplay would genuinely be really good fun. The security force balance is just too weak at the moment though. There needs to be more appropriate responses for larger assaults, maybe stronger shields and armor too for the security ships. The NPCs really need to gang up on targets too. I feel that the security ships should be very dangerous, and at the moment they just aren't really. I mean, if they're just attacking a single ship and there's a load of them, yeah. If you're getting attacked by a size 10 turret and a load of size 6 and size 4s, you're going to have a bad time. Do the stations and security forces currently work in 3.11? Yes, they do. They repel very well small groups or a single ship causing issues, but they can't repel a large-scale attack yet. The current mechanics are very fun if you organise an event, but very shallow beyond that. They do serve a purpose of actually preventing anarchy constantly and taking out players and sending them to prison effectively for just a single player or two that wanted to cause trouble. I'm thinking that a good balance would be having PvP around stations with a large group of maybe 25 players assaulting versus 10 defending the station. Again, this would have to be organised as a fleet battle between groups to get working properly at this stage. I'll see if I can organise something like that, and there might need to be a bit more balance than just me reckoning 25 versus 10 defending a station. At the moment, we don't really have any large-scale fleet battles, nor reasons to do them either, and that's what I'm really looking forward to in Star Citizen, and it does look like it is coming relatively soon. During the May Fleet Week, we saw a UEE fleet moving around. It was semi-combat sort of ready, so they would shoot at player ships and they would fight them, but large groups of players again sort of like attacked them. They weren't really functional for that, and like rammed them into planets and took out the Idris and the javelins and stuff like that. So that was really interesting and quite cool. They even sort of like had some extra bits that they put in so that they made the ships even tougher, so it was much harder to do and players were still killing them. So I really liked that. I thought that was a good laugh. We are waiting for these PvE based fleet battles though, and we know that Cloud Imperium have been working on some of them. The Arlington Gang mission, which was supposed to be in a little while ago, was supposed to end a series of missions with a big fight against an Idris and a few ships that would be defending it as well. That is something I'm looking forward to. That is something that I hope we see in the game very soon. There's also some other more sophisticated missions and PvE encounters that Cloud Imperium have been working on. We also saw from some leaks a little while ago that there's a group called Xenothreat, and from the audio leaks from that, we've heard that it sounds like they're going to be a large fleet, including capital ships like an Idris, maybe javelins, moving around to sort of like the different planets in the same way that the Fleet Week UEE Navy did, and causing trouble there. And that should have some sort of like big open raid gameplay where players sort of like join up and attack that and try and repel those fleets. So that sort of stuff, incredibly exciting, especially if you have stations then trying to repel those attacks as well. So you'd literally go up and help a station repel a big fleet of ships. And yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool, especially if there's mission rewards and reasons to do that. Bam, I'm really, really excited for that. But what do you think we'll see from station defences, assaults and security force gameplay and the larger sort of scale PvE fleet battles? Do you think we're going to start to see more of this added soon? It was very lightly implied we might see something for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Don't get overly excited because it's not confirmed yet. I'm just hoping that we see something. What are your sort of experiences with playing Alpha 3.11 and the Green Zone stuff there? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What are your current experiences of fighting around stations? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway. For October 2020, it is for a Mercury Star Runner. This highly anticipated multi-role ship is going to be great for small to medium-sized crews that want to do a bit of everything, whether that be cargo running, data running, missions, combat, smuggling, all that sort of jazz. And it's going to be in-game and flyable very soon. All you've got to do to be in for a chance of winning one is comment on any of my videos made during October, including this one. More details down below. What am I shilling for today, I hear you ask? Do you hate it when people steal all of your money and your house over the internet? I know I do. NordVPN may have been invented by wizards to help protect your personal data from the prying eyes of the dark web, a sinister cabal of technomancers that grow in power the more they know about your browsing habits. The true story of NordVPN's origins are unknown and lost to the ages, and without using fact, no one really knows how it provides more accessibility to otherwise censored websites or a safer security experience for all that use it. All I know is that it does, and that when you sign up to it, the power level of my bank account grows. And I use it, and maybe you should too.